So if we work with the Pacers and he plays for the Pacers, then are we coworkers? Ladies and gentlemen, I am done with high school. It feels fantastic. My last day was yesterday. I'm recording this on Friday. I don't feel anything. I'll be honest. Lighting switches. Um, I it's school. I'm gonna hit. It's probably gonna hit after graduation specifically. But the thing that we have going on right now happened a little while ago. Malcolm Brogdon. Yes, that Malcolm Brogdon, rookie of the year. Malcolm Brogdon played with Giannis. Malcolm Brogdon in Indiana right now. Malcolm Brogdon. Yes. If you don't know already, so with the TV program WCTV slash Frontrunner slash the Mick Network, whatever you want to call it, we had the great opportunity to work and honestly collaborate with the Indianapolis Recorder newspaper, one of the most notable newspapers throughout the country, and especially in Indiana, black owned, and one of the oldest. I can't remember the specific numbers, but we are working with them when we created the NextGen Sports page, to where young media individuals such as us have been able to do a lot of work. My man Zion Brown has a lot of great things on there. He's our sports editor now. Congratulations to him. Will Matchett, my man, has gotten a lot of great stuff on there. It's a great opportunity, and not only to be able to interview a Pacer star like Malcolm Brogdon, and a notable one that everybody likes, but also to be a published journalist on one of the more respected newspapers in our country, and I'm not even 18 yet, so I think that's a big blessing in itself. It kind of adds on to a lot of great things that have happened to me this year. But overall, I was so nervous when I did this interview. How much time are we looking at? Maybe, I don't know. I was so nervous when I did this. They told me you don't have to call him, like, it was after they said, "Oh, you don't have to say Mr. Brogdon," but like, what am I supposed to say? I draw my straw. Ugh. They said you don't have to call him Mr. Brogdon. You're professional. You can say Malcolm, but like, I didn't want him to be like Malcolm. Doo-doo, log off of Zoom. It was very fun because it tested my interviewing skills, especially back at the time that I recorded this. One, I hadn't done an interview in a long time, and I've only really interviewed people that I have easy contact with, or people that I already know in a good sense. So I had to learn how to break the ice, and especially over Zoom, interviewing people in person is so much better. So I hope, one, I can meet Mr. Brogdon in person, maybe even get a part two interviewing him. Overall, I think it'll be really cool. But shout out to him. Shout out to Malcolm. Like I was saying, it's just something I'm gonna have to get used to. I'm so excited to go to IU and interview their players, but that's a lot different because if I'm interviewing, I don't know their sports that yet. If I'm interviewing one of the star basketball players, he's probably in my math class, so it's like I can be like, "Hey, Mark." I don't know. I had to think of a random name. Yeah. So in the interview, or the actual article that I posted, it was a condensed version down to 10 minutes. This should be 20. Well, I haven't edited it fully yet, but it's gonna be around 20, sometime, something around that. Um, so you get the questions that were left out of that. You get the maybe my failed introduction, depending on how confident I'm feeling when I edit it. But the full thing, I want to treat you all. Thank you for 50 subscribers on here. I'm kind of going long now. I just want to talk. I love talking. People would skip all the way through. 50 is huge. Right now, I believe it's 55, which is just crazy and all. I want to make it known that, like, one, people might see it as a small milestone, but considering I've never gotten there before with my YouTube attempts, it's amazing. And that I'll see a lot of people that have a much bigger platforms than me not recognizing their everybody. You could easily say, "Oh, I appreciate everybody," but at a small stage like this, I just want to say it doesn't go unnoticed. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate the numbers in my song 21 Forever. I said I don't like looking at the numbers, but they going up. I kind of had to stop myself because I feel like if I look at them and get kind of infatuated with, that was a big word that I used in AP Lit. If I get infatuated with it, then I'm gonna kind of lose track. I'm gonna lose myself, and I can't let that happen again. Long story with that, but I don't want to get lost in the numbers and all the success and all the media stuff. I just want to do what I do, have some success with it, but not get caught up in it. Um, yeah, but as we are having a long intro period on here, I just want to say once again, thank you. If you are not already subscribed on here, on YouTube at least, please do that. If you're listening on audio, migrate over to YouTube, press that subscribe button, also press the like button. Subscribe to join the Cool Kid Club. I was trying to have that be a thing for a while, but I just forgot. But yeah. Enjoy the interview. My stomach's look cool. I've been losing weight, y'all. I've been losing weight, and it feels fantastic. I got a headache right now, but my do rag was on tight last night, and that was hurting me. But yeah, thank you so much. God bless. Hello, everyone. It's Christianos with the NextGen Sports team, and I'm very happy to be joined by Mr. Malcolm Brogdon. A grand introduction for him. He is a guard for the Indiana Pacers, a 2017 NBA Rookie of the Year, and the Vice President of the NBPA. And Mr. Brogdon, how are you doing today?
Doing well. I'm excited to be on.
Thank you so much. And just to get a overall review, how do you think the season's going for you so far?
It's going well. Personally, for me, it's going really well for my team. You know, we've had a lot of injuries. The NBA season is filled with ups and downs. So, you know, you just try your best to stay healthy and finish in the top spot for the playoffs.
Absolutely, and even had a unfortunate injury for yourself. Not sure how long, of not getting into insider stuff, but one of the things you do, you assist your teammates on the court, but while you're not doing that, you do a lot of work to assist the community off the court. And we're here to talk about the Brogdon Family Foundation, something that you've been able to do to help many branches of the community, not only here in Indiana, but just affecting many parts of the world. And how long has the Brogdon Family Foundation existed?
A little bit over a year. You know, it's been something that's been in the works for, I think, a few years now. My mother is the executive director. And, you know, our goal is to impact as many people and impact as many children as possible.
Absolutely. And if I'm correct, did it like sort of launch during the NBA bubble or no?
It did. You know, that was basically that's when it launched. There had been a lot of groundwork up until that point, the months before that, where we were really getting it off the ground. But yeah, that's when it did officially launch.
Mm-hmm. And the overall goal of the Brogdon Family Foundation, I know it, like I mentioned earlier, helps in many different facets, but you know, if you could explain what the main goal you hope to achieve with it?
For sure. You know, the Brogdon Family Foundation has two different parts. There's two different wings. One of them is the JHA Education Project, which focuses on inner city schools and really trying to impact the youth and impact diverse communities and schools by mentoring, by literacy programs. And then the other wing of the foundation is Hoops for Humanity, which is really where my original community work started, where you know, I gather a group of NBA players and we fundraise all year to build clean water wells in East Africa, Tanzania.
And personally, what was the motive for getting this foundation started?
To make the biggest impact possible. You know, I think when you can have a formal name and you know, something that people can really track and pay attention to, like a foundation, I think that's how you really gain traction.
I really like that. And, you know, we see a lot of notable athletes and just celebrities making foundations for charity, but you know, what do you think makes yours unique and not better than the rest, but, you know, do you think it does anything different that some others might not cover?
You know, I think the fact that we're touching not only the youth with education, but we're touching communities in you know, East Africa and soon to be all over the continent of Africa. I don't know of many foundations that do both of those.
Mm-hmm. And I know you mentioned that you partner with Africa and place here in Indiana and also multiple NBA athletes. How important, not only do you think the objective of the overall foundation is, but also the mentorship that comes with it?
That's huge. You know, I think that's, for me, that's one of the biggest things, especially when you talk about the schools that we're partnering with in Indianapolis and the schools in Atlanta that we're partnering with. I think so many of you know, the up and coming generations need guidance. They need mentors, and they need mentors that look like them. So in a lot of these inner cities, it's a lot of Black and brown children, in lower socioeconomic classes that need mentors, that need people that look like them, that they can really look up to and listen to and give them guidance.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned earlier that your mother runs the day-to-day of the foundation, or is also very involved. What type of work does she do as opposed to you?
So my mother is, she's been a provost, she's been a college professor. She's been working at Morehouse her entire career, Morehouse College in Atlanta. So she's still currently there. And, I think this is going to be her next transition. She's the full-time executive director of the foundation. And I think this is what she'll be doing permanently, after she's done at Morehouse.
And I'm sure it's very great and makes you happy to work with this foundation. What is it like personally for you? Because I know you've been definitely helping out your community and doing a lot of service for your whole life.
I'm just excited at the opportunity to give back, once you have the resources to do so. I believe it's it's your duty to help your community and help those that don't have those resources, or help the kids that don't have the resources, that don't choose what situation they're born into. So those are the people I'm really trying to impact.
Okay. And to dive into one of the branches of your foundation, Hoops for Humanity, do you know if you could once again say the goal of this branch of the foundation?
The goal of Hoops for Humanity is to really fundraise all year and raise enough money to build clean water wells in East Africa. Currently, we have water wells in Kenya and Tanzania.
And what makes water quality so important to you? That's something that you never really hear. Water quality, definitely providing water to people, but the quality of the water isn't something that stands out.
Absolutely. Water is one of those resources that when you're in a first world country like the US, people take it for granted. And it's something that, we always have. We don't have to worry about the water being clean that comes out of our faucet or comes in a bottle. But overseas, in a lot of countries, especially in third world countries in Africa, they do have to worry about that. So it's important for me and to be able to help deliver clean water to people, because water is something that impacts your life in a multitude of ways. From it's what you drink, it's what you cook with, it's what you bathe with. It really has a profound impact on a lot of people.
And it's not only you that works with the Hoops for Humanity branch, it's also athletes such as Kyle Lowry, Victoria Vivians, Joe Harris, and many others. What do you think of the team that you've been able to build around you?
I love the team. I want guys, whenever you're building a team that's going to do a foundation or going to do nonprofit work, you want people that are engaged. You want people that have a heart like you, and that really want to help. And that's what I've built. I've built high character people that, really want to help others and use their platform and use their resources to help other people.
How do you bring more athletes into the fold? Because I remember on the website for it had the starting 5, I believe, and then there were more added on. How did you and maybe even the others work to get more people involved?
You spread the word. You spread the word. And one thing in the past that's been huge is taking guys over to Africa on our annual trip during the summer. We're planning our trip again for this July to go to Kenya and Tanzania. And, I think that taking that trip and guys seeing the poverty and seeing the lack of access to clean water firsthand really changes their perspective and makes them more engaged.
Mm-hmm. And for the other branch of the Brogdon Family Foundation, the JHA Education Project, and do you know if you could once again remind me the goal of this one?
Yes, the goal of this one is to provide literacy programs, mentoring programs, and high impact experiences, such as maybe going to a library, maybe going to a different country, just allowing kids that opportunities that they normally wouldn't be exposed to.
And you work with the IPS with it. How did that partnership come about? No, I mean, definitely playing in Indiana, but you could do any other district. Just how specifically with IPS?
It actually through the Pacers. The Pacers have been incredibly. They've facilitated the entire thing for us, and been incredibly helpful to the foundation. And we've been able to pick out some really good IPS schools with amazing principals, and a lot of kids that want to learn, and just really good, healthy environments.
And those schools that you have, they're currently just four. Why those four? And are there any plans to bring more in later on?
Possibly bring in more later on, but right now we want to have the biggest impact we can with these four. We strategically picked them because I think these principals have been the most receptive. They're very on it. They're very engaged with their students. They want their kids to have the best experiences and opportunity and resources as possible. So we, I think we have a really, really good relationship working with these principals.
And do you know if you could tell me more about the One Book Family Book Club?
Yeah, so we basically have a book club where, once a month or every couple of weeks, we get on the phone, and the book club ended, but we would get on the phone with kids from all of the schools and all four of the principals and talk about the book and talk about what we learned and how we can apply that to our lives. And I think it's important for the kids to have something outside of the classroom that still engages them and allows them to learn, but also they can talk about it with kids from other schools that come from different environments.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that because at my local library, I've seen many different Colts athletes and Pacers athletes having little book club type things. But I think it's great that you're working to expand it, just not past one community, maybe getting more involved, not only making friends, making connections, but just reaching out to more people because it helps a lot just to not to talk to the same people possibly every single day.
Absolutely. I think it expands your mind and sort of broadens your perspective.
And you are also working in the in terms of STEM, in the world of STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and math. I'm surprised I remember, but how important is the STEM world to you?
Extremely important. I think a lot of that stuff, especially with the technology, a lot of what we're seeing and how things are developing is all built around technology. So it's important for these younger generations, even more so than when I was in middle school and elementary school and high school, to understand how to use a computer, to understand how to use this technology that is so prevalent nowadays.
Yeah, the STEM world is definitely growing. When I was in sixth grade, we had classes to get us prepared. And also, one of the things that are growing now is making sure to get women in STEM. Is there anything that you're working with in terms of that?
Not specifically with women. We are, the foundation as a whole is really, really focused on a more equitable world. You'll see that in our mission statement. You'll see that around the foundation on our website. And that focus is on women. That's purposely for women, especially on the water side, making sure that women in Africa, especially East Africa, have clean water, because they're honestly, you see in every area of life when things are not going well or there are discrepancies, women are usually hit the hardest and at the biggest disadvantage. So it's important for us to target them and make sure that they have equality at the end of the day.
And the JHA Education Project also works with HBCUs. What type of things do you guys do with them? I know you're trying to not only share the word about them, but just sort of get them more recognition in general.
Absolutely. My mom being, at Morehouse, her really, she's tenured at Morehouse. She's been there for over 25 years. It's important for us to put, as much as we can, put HBCUs on the map. And I think that's really a trend that's going around today, but it's something I've always wanted to do. And my mom has it in her heart, especially for young Black men and women to empower them. And the foundation is a good platform to do that through.
I think that's really fantastic. And before we close off with that, I was wondering if JHA stands for anything.
John Hurst Adams. So that is actually, it's named after my grandfather, my late grandfather, my mom's father.
Okay, I think that's great. And just some more general questions. If some research serves me right, I saw that you were named after Malcolm X. How big of a motivation is it for you to do something positive in this world?
It's huge. I was raised uh, to believe in people like Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali. Those are my role models. So standing up for what you believe in, living a life of service and gratitude and giving back and empowering your people and your community is really, I think, what life is about. So, as I said, those are my role models, and I try to um, be the man that my parents raised me to be, and use my resources for good.
And the service that you talked about has gone on through many generations of your family. How crucial was it to not only growing up, but now that you have the platform that you do now to keep it going and possibly even elevate it even more?
It's incredibly important. Giving back never stops. As I go on in my NBA career, the better I play on the court, the more recognition I'll get. And with the more recognition, the more attention, and people will be watching and even paying attention to the stuff you do off the court. So it's all fits into my plan. It all fits into, why I work so hard, because I want to be the best on the court, but I also want to be the best off the court and impact and help as many people as possible.
And one of the ways that you also affect the NBA is being a part of the NBPA, the National Basketball Players Association. You're the vice president. What are some of the roles that come with that?
Man, it's been quite a learning experience through COVID and through quarantine and the NBA shutting down and the bubble, all this stuff going on. The vice president there, I'm actually one of a few vice presidents on the board. And there are, I want to say 9 people on the executive committee. And we as a whole make a lot of important decisions. We are the voice for the rest of the NBA players. And we serve in the best interest of the NBA players. And, it can be a tough job. It can be it's something where we're on calls all the time. We're on calls. We're in the process now of selecting a new executive director. There's always something on the horizon. There's always a reason why we're on the phone. But it's extremely gratifying, and it's an honor to serve as vice president and to serve, the rest of the guys in the NBA.
Mm-hmm. I remember back when the NBA bubble was in its infancy and seeing if it was even going to be a thing. Read a lot about how the National Basketball Players Association seemed like they're working nonstop to see if this will work. Give the players an option, not make it mandatory, give them the choice to spread their own message, especially with the Black Lives Matter movement happening in the same year, 2020. So congratulations to you all for the great work that you've done and continue to do. But as one of the vice presidents, how much leverage do you think it does to benefit things like your foundation?
I think it does. At the end of the day, it is a great resume builder. And not only just resume, you learn a lot. You learn how to lead. You learn what's going on the business side of things, especially a big organization like the NBA. And then you meet people. You meet people. You develop connections through just having conversations and all the people that the NBA touches and the NBPA touches. So it's been amazing. And like I said, I'm very thankful to have been a part of it.
Mm-hmm. And as a whole, one of the names that is associated with you being in the league is Mr. President. With your rise, how do you think that has helped you not only build your image for helping with things like your foundation, but just overall with you, the person?
That nickname came about, I think, at the end of my college, but it really stuck my rookie year in Milwaukee. And it's something that I've grown to like over time, and it has such a positive meaning and a positive connotation about it. I definitely I welcome it at this point. But I think it helps your reputation when you have a nickname like that. No one wants a bad nickname. Everybody wants a good one. And while that might not be the sexiest nickname out there, it stands for a lot of good stuff. So people called me that when President Obama was in office. They said I look like him. They said I talk like him. And then I, spent 4 or 5 years at Virginia. So they just knew the educational background. But no, it's a nickname I welcome and I enjoy.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not a bad nickname. And sometimes nicknames like sort of clown on something small, but turn it into anything better. Example, Anthony Davis's Brow, calling him the Brow. But as a strong Black man and having Mr. President, it definitely shows like it's not bad to have a positive image, be strong with yourself, and definitely not talk like just the stereotypical Black guy. So props to you for that, keeping it in and embracing it like you had mentioned.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And one of the last things I was wondering, it feels like you're going to be one of the players that write a book. Is that something that will be coming in the future from you?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think of myself as someone that's book worthy. But I've had a few people ask me if I'd write a book, and that's I guess only time will tell.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see if it does come in the future. But Mr. Brogdon, thank you so much for joining me. So great to see what you have going on later in terms of your service and all your work, and especially for your career.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me.
No problem.